All righty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody had a lovely day. And with that being said, get some TA. All right, guys, we're going to kick it off here with SPY's daily chart. And I am going to point out that we do have our second inside day in a row here. This is going to resolve itself eventually. We do have, all right, we're going to have election results coming out. We're going to have an FOMC rate hike decision on Thursday. We got an action-packed week here, and I think, we are going to have some volatility. Now, here on the weekly chart, guys, I'm just going to say you're kind of right where buyers need to start stepping in, or you definitely can be sliding lower. And then I'm also going to point out here on the daily time frame, what we have right now is kind of identical to what we had over here. All right. So, a lot of the times you're going to have two inside days and then you get, your actual move. We now have our second inside day. We rejected right where we were watching the 573.36 to 574.71 zone over there. And now, guys, all right, it is looking like we are wanting to slide. All right. So as you can see, I have this little arrow we got going on right here. I think we look pretty much identical to how we looked over there. I'm not saying we're going to get one of these days, the minus 1.68% day. I'm not saying that at all, but I am going to point out that this is eerily similar to what we had over there, where you had your first initial move down there, followed by consolidation underneath the daily 9. And then what happened? You had that big red day. Now, we do have these election results coming out. And we do have the rate hike decision. Definitely, that those are both catalysts to move this market, guys. We don't know exactly how it's going to be going here, but what we do know is it is going to bring some volatility in either direction. We don't know which direction, either direction. I think if we do end up getting one of these days, I think it's probable that we start seeing, buyers shortly after there. So, I'm just saying, if we get this scenario, we're going to have this big fat red bar tomorrow, and then we're going to gap up the following day, and then we start our ascent, okay? You're going to base out here, and then you start that ascent. So it's going to take like 4 days all in all for this to happen, and then for you to consolidate and then finally push up. I'm not saying that's going to happen, guys. History isn't going to repeat itself exactly, but, we do see these patterns play out again and again and again over time. So we're definitely going to talk about them. Support on SPY is going to be 568.44. Underneath there, you have 565.16, which I'm just saying it's extremely likely you're at least going to test 565.16. That is what I'm looking for this week at least. And underneath there, you have 560.83, and then you have 554.87, which happens to align with your golden pocket. And, I'm going to take off this arrow, but just know what we got right now looks very, very similar to what we had early September, where, again, you had one leg, you had consolidation for 2 days, then you had that. Okay, and on the second day of consolidation, you did dip lower underneath all of these previous lows here of the previous two candles. What do we have today? Same exact thing. All right, what I will say is you also have this decreasing volume here. All right, but that makes perfect sense, guys. Let's be completely real. They are inside days. All right, they're not the biggest of the movers. And, you had the volume spike on your big red day, and now inside days, consolidation days. Guess what? Lower volume. Less market participants. It makes perfect sense. We're also right before the election, okay? So it makes perfect sense what's going on here. All right, if we come down into this spot, I'll just mark it out with a green circle down here. If you come in between here, I think you're probably going to bottom in between 554.87 and 560.83. Just my opinion. All right, just my opinion. If we come down here, I'm going to guess we're going to get some reactions down there. So we're going to look for some buyers to step back in. Now, on the upside is resistance, guys. We're going to have 570.68, and then we're going to have 573.36 to 574.71 supply zone that we're paying attention to on the upside. That's where we sold on Friday. That is, we broke under it. Pretty aggressive sell. We're saying we could potentially be, getting that bounce and retesting that. Why are we saying that? Because you closed out with that. All right. You literally closed out with your 15-minute bullish divergence over here on SPY, QQ, ES, NQ, IWM, DIA. They all freaking had the same exact look. And yeah, it was extremely likely you were going to begin to bounce. Didn't have to happen, but typically, guys, when we see this thing get, very oversold and then start building divergences, you're at least going to get the oscillator resetting itself. So, when I see these things, we're definitely going to start, given that scenario, the weight over, for the downside right away. What were we looking for? A lower high. You're short in the pop, and then you're looking for, a further move lower. I think we potentially could be getting that right around the corner. So let's watch for it. Okay. So that is SPY. QQQ, guys, we're just going to come down here to the 15-minute time frame. I'm going to point out, guys, don't drive yourself nuts with this price action. I honestly enjoyed this price action very much. We got a few decent setups right there. But, I'm going to say you rose 1% off the open straight in a vertical manner, and then you consolidated the whole day. You can see it represented very well over here on the hourly time frame. We have that downtrend we're paying attention to. If you break out of that downtrend, chances are you're going to at least push up to 489.44. All right, so resistance is going to be 487. We're going to take off this level right here. It did kind of serve its purpose. You are getting, all these wicks down here, but as you see, we came all the way down here. This is the reaction spot that we're paying attention to. You're fading that level right there, so we're not going to talk about it. Above 487.57, we have 489.44. 492.23, and then same with SPY. We have that little supply zone in which was the bottom of their range. We just broke down from 493.85 to 495.01. On the downside of support, what are we gonna have? 485.05, 483.75, and you better hold this 482.50 level, because if not, free fall is on the table down to 477.40. All right, same as SPY, guys. If you start really getting this slide lower here, I'm going to be looking for buyers to step in somewhere in between these two levels right here. 473.81 down to 468.50. That's going to be where your 0.618 fib is. I'm liking it, guys. I'm liking it. I'm bullish on this dip. We came up, almost tapped all-time highs, tested our 501.01 level. You sold right from there. You did not go straight up to all-time highs. Instead, you broke down from the channel. This is probably going to be a higher low compared to over here, and then you're probably going to run it back up. Either way, bearish, bullish, we're probably not going to have a straight shot down. You're probably going to come down here, and then you would get bought up and at least come back up and retest that. This is a big freaking move we could be playing here, no matter what. All right, bearish scenario or bullish scenario, you get this little bouncy bounce going here. Okay, no matter what. You're not going to go straight down. It can, all right, but it's extremely likely that you're going to get no bounce while moving just, down. You're typically going to get something like that, when you are moving down. See? And do you want to see how big these bounces? This isn't even now, all right? We got a lot of volatility right now. That's a $15 bounce. Over here, you want to talk about it, all right? That was a, almost $30 bounce, 27 bucks. Guess what? That would only be a $15 bounce. So we're going to be looking for that. If you see it, you could play it. There you go. All right. So on the upside as resistance, though, what do we got over here? We're going to actually use the hourly time frame. That hourly time frame. What do we got going, guys? 487.57, 489.44, 492.23, 493.85 to 495. That's where you're paying attention to on the upside. Downside, guys, just make sure you're holding. I mean, we have no say in this, guys, but just make sure you're watching this. If you lose 482.50, that's when you have a lot more downside open here. As of right now, we're going to expect buyers here in the golden pocket, but I am leaning towards this thing breaking and us having to slide lower. So that's QQ. Coming over here to IWM. What do we get, guys? What do we got? Another upper wick, just like yesterday, guys. You are rejecting that 221.53 resistance right there, right? So your resistance is going to be 221.53. Above there, we're going to have this golden pocket in between 223.40 and 225. All right. I don't think you're just going to, move back up. Rate decision is going to be, determining IWM's next move here. So we're going to be waiting on that on Thursday. So Thursday's video that night is going to be rather exciting. We're going to have election out of the way. We're going to have the rate hike decision out of the way. And then we just got CPI next week to talk about, all right? From that point, guys, when you have no catalyst there, price action typically reigns king. And we can, actually just see some of these, while we see probable on this chart, we could very well see that happen. All right, so I am liking it. And that is that is what we're talking. All right, guys, so support 219.98, 218.53, and 217.37. Hold 217.37 or else, because then you open the door down to 215.38 and this 212.78 gap fill down below. And you have the golden pocket between 209 and 213. So that's IWM over here. I'm just going to remind everyone, just broke down from this rising wedge. All right. I originally thought this thing, was preparing for a move. And then we saw this. I was like, oh, confirmation. We are. But then by the end of the day, that completely faded. And then I was like, okay, we're not moving higher. Okay. We're not moving higher. We did not get the actual confirmation we were looking for. You want to take out this 225 spot right there. And from there, we were probably going to start ascending into the heavens. What happened? You got sucked down in the golden pocket and now you broke down. All right. And now you have a bearish break and retest. You had this big fat red sell day right there. And this is just the retest. I think everything's set up to go a little bit lower. That's what I'm saying. Okay. How much lower? No idea. But we'll talk about it as we go. DIA, what happened on Friday? We had a rejection over there from the daily 9 again. And what happened? We moved down to a new low today. From this point, guys, I do think we're going to come down to 413. That is going to be where the golden pocket starts. That is also where you have this zone over here where you broke out from. All right. So this is your breakout zone. The level that's really, standing out is going to be 413.86. Underneath 416.55, you're watching 413.86. Resistance to 418.50 and 420.39. VIX, what do we got going over here, guys? We're stalling out right here. You got the same inside days you got over there on SPY QQ over there. All right, a little cleaner over here on VIX. But I'll remind everyone, we have this, overall bullish structure going on here on VIX, and you're just consolidating right before that neckline. All right, you pulled your RSI back. You have room to run here on Mr. VIX, and if you spike into that FOMC rate hike announcement, I do have to assume, hey, we're probably going to be getting a little bounce off of that event, but we'll see. We will see what happens, guys. Pop up above here, 23.14, get a daily close. I think we have a solid shot of really going for it, guys. 29.66 up there, 30 schmeckles. There you go. Tesla, guys, what do we got going on over here? Rejection from the daily 9 today. We're watching 232.34 on the downside. That is pretty much it. Under 242.65, you watch 232.34. Apple, what do you got going on here, guys? You did end up having an inside day today. Underneath 221.33, you have 217.22 and then 213.92. I am personally watching this area down here as it is, right here. I'm looking for you to sweep this low, and then I want to buy this guy. But I will point out Warren Buffett did just, sell. A good amount over here, and that is making headlines. And I'm pretty sure last time he did so, Apple actually just kind of, did not recover as quick as I thought it was. It might have been over here. I'm not really sure. But, I remember it wasn't a good reaction last time, and it didn't just get bought up once the daily RSI hit oversold territory. So that's something to take into consideration over here. But nonetheless, I like the setup if you come down here. All right, Amazon, what do we got going on, guys? You're breaking retesting off of that 195.37 breakout level right there. If you can't hold there, we're watching 189.93. All right, golden pocket starts at 191. We're looking for buyers down here if you come all the way down here. I'm not saying that's going to happen because you kind of already popped up here. I think you want to come above to a new all-time high. I think you want to get above 201.20, and from there we have the 205 and then 210 psych levels up there. All right, but look at this weekly chart. Does this really look like something that's just going to sell right away? No. If you see this, honestly, I think we're probably going to get a lower wick this week. I'm leaning towards, a bearish start of the week. That's what we were talking about in the weekly update. Bearish start of the week. They get bought up maybe in the end of the week. That's kind of, how I'm leaning over here. That's how we lean it. All right. Goog, what do you got going on? Again, buyers right here at your break and retest level. You did come down and test that 0.618 fib today, and you do still have buyers holding the daily 9. I really like this setup over, everything we're going to talk about today on these FANG stocks. I like Goog right where it's at right now. Can you come a little lower? Yes, you can. All right. But, odds are you do end up finding buyers around here. And, we did just see this, fresh little breakout here. I doubt it's going to last 4 days after consolidating in this, area for, that's 3 months, right? Well, that's almost 4 months right there. And then just this little area was 1 month. I doubt it's going to have 4 trading sessions out of that range. And then you're just going to come back into it. I find that hard to believe. All right. But we'll see what happens. All right. Resistance is 175.91. Microsoft, what do you got cooking over here, guys? You did end up coming down here, printing another inside day. I'll remind everyone, you just broke down from this little head and shoulders pattern right there. I think we could see some more downside down to where I have this green circle. We talked about it over here in the weekly update. I am just saying, Down here, I think you probably do get buyers stepping in, right? Daily RSI is probably going to be oversold at that point. And, either here or you're going to probably sweep the slope. We're not even going to say here. We're going to say right here. Okay. So 388.03. That is, really what I would be watching if 397 cannot hold over there. But overall, I'm bullish on this dip, guys. I don't think we are going. You have a large inverse, or not inverse. You have a large head and shoulders pattern going on right here. I don't think that plays out. I think, if anything, you're going to come down here. You're going to get a lot of people talking about it. You're right here at major support, key support going on right there. You're going to have, if you extend that out there, you're kind of right around this spot. So, in this area, we're probably going to get buyers stepping back in. And then, you're either going to get that. Okay. You get a bounce here, or you lose that and you get a big bounce there. One or the other. That's Microsoft, though. What are we talking about over here on Meta, guys? We are continuing that decline over here off of decreasing volume. We are going to be watching the big 542.81 breakout level that is over here on the weekly time frame. Just a friendly reminder over here, underneath here, you're probably not going to hold up here. You're probably coming down here. So that's what I'm paying attention to. I'm hoping we get a big sell over here on Meta so we can actually get this buy the dip opportunity that we've been talking about since this week right over here. All right. We've all known this is the big spot. You had a lot of consolidation that took place in this range, a lot. And if you come back into it, you're probably going to get buyers. So that's what we're paying attention to. Support for the time being is going to be 554.19 and then 542.81 under there. And then 537 is where that 0.618 fib is from that most recent impulsive move up. Resistance 562.35, 568.73, 574.03. All right. What do we got over here on the chips, guys? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Rejection from the break-in retest 137.46. That was the resistance we were paying attention to in the weekly update. And then we also have that daily 9 rejection. All right. So I'm just going to put this guy on right here. You're kind of dancing around it right here. I personally think you're coming down to at least 131.26. That's why I got my alert down there. I think this is probably one of the sexiest charts that you could be, going long on this dip. You see a decent pullback. We really like this guy. All right. Why? Because you just had your fresh breakout to a new all-time high. All right. This pullback is very clearly going to act as a buying opportunity. It doesn't have to, so I shouldn't say going to. I don't want to mislead anyone there. But, I just want to be clear on how I'm thinking here. Yeah, it's like, 90% odds that, you come down into this area here, you get bought up to a new high. All right. Buy some time. And, they're probably going to be on earnings again. And we're probably going to see another bullish reaction. We're liking how things are looking, guys. We are. I know you didn't get a bullish reaction last time over here, right? But I think you are in this process right here where you are right here. You just broke out. I think we see some further upside over here, right? TSM, I'm just going to say a weekly chart, not looking so bad. This is the spot where we want to see buyers stepping in. If they can't hold here, though, if you really start taking out last week's low, from that point, guys, we could have a decent sized, decline over here, all the way down here to 175.45. All right. So that would be where that golden pocket is. On the daily time frame, it doesn't look the best. All right. And this is why I was saying the other day, bullish on this dip, guys. Bullish on the dip. But, if you're an options trader, the December expiration and January expiration are going to serve you well. I don't think it's worth playing anything in the short term. All right. If you're buying calls, it's your term. I don't know really what to tell you. The charts don't look like they're going to be going up in the short term. Does that mean you can't nibble on these buying opportunities with, some dated cons / like if you play shares? All right. No, that doesn't mean that at all. I think you're going to have a good time, but you're going to have to be patient, guys. That is really what it comes down to. In the short term, we were very clear that things look bearish. I still think things look bearish until, we see things change. All right. And, on the overall indices, what would make that change? Guys, we got to get above here. Real talk. You got to get above your supply zone, 574.71 to 573.36. Get above that supply zone and get a daily close above the daily 21 as well as the daily 9. They're in the exact same spot right now. So, we're looking for sellers to step in around this area if tested again. But get above it. We'll talk about some upside, guys. We'll talk about a move back up to all-time highs. But until that happens, I'm looking for a move down here. I'm going to get bullish when we start moving lower. But right here, you're in the middle of nowhere. And right above, you have the ceiling. Why are you going to go long right underneath the ceiling? No, wait for a further discount or wait for short-term momentum to move back into this ticker over here. You have no reason to mess with things long right here. You don't. And I'm being transparent. You either on these bullish charts, all right, well, on the long side, you either get to play short-term momentum. That comes when price is above this right here, what I'm talking about, or you get to play discounts. All right, and then you wait, you take your buy the dip opportunities. Right here, we have neither. So, just stay patient, stay calm, stay patient. There you go. Avgo looking pretty ugly underneath 169.50 support again today. Could not get back above it. Another rejection. You actually rejected both these levels today. Guess what? Perfect 172.42 rejection right there, as well as the daily nines right above. I think you're about to slide lower, right? 165.80 I think is in the cards. Underneath there, 160.41. AMD, what do you got cooking over here, guys? You did get underneath that 0.786 fib. So this is what I was saying. Had a very nice risk to reward over here on AMD. All right, you were risking right here at the 0.786 fib because we were closing right above it over there on Friday. All right, so you're risking there for a move up to at least 148, if not 150.52. What happened? All right, you broke underneath it. So that long setup is out the window. I'm just saying from this point, we're probably coming down to this next area, which has some reactions right there, right there, right there. They're not equal lows, but we definitely can see some reactions there. So yeah, you probably get buyers stepping in. You're going to have daily RSI getting into oversold territory. Maybe you come underneath it and you do something like that. Fakes everybody out, and then it takes like a week to really base around, and then you get back above the daily 9 and things are looking good again. We play short-term momentum. Again, I'm going to say, just wait for things to get above these short-term moving averages. You're going to have a much better time if you do so. Get above the daily 9, all right? You're going to have a few days of upside. Just wait for it. Just wait. You don't need to catch the fallen knife if you don't want to. There's ways, and I'm telling you the ways to avoid that. All right? ARM. You broke underneath this, little head and shoulders looking, neckline right here. But, you broke that downtrend. You retested it. We watched it. Okay, we were saying right here, you don't really have a reason to get bullish right here. All right, and then you broke underneath, you retested it, and now you broke your next uptrend right there. I think you're coming down to 132.80, all right? Underneath 138.40, 132.80, that's where we're paying attention to. It's going to have the golden pocket right over there. MU, what do you got cooking over here, guys? You did reject off your break and retest level 1 of 354, where you broke down from over here. You also rejected your daily 21 and your daily 9. Again, like you don't have a reason to be long right here. You are waiting. All right. You are waiting. You're waiting for price to get above and you're going to ride short-term momentum, or you are waiting for a further discount. That is the move. The further discount comes at 96.18, and then the deepest discount, if this thing's going to actually bounce and it's going to be actually a discount, it's going to be 90.97, because if you don't hold here, you're coming down here. But you're looking to buy in here, and I'd say have a good time with some time. Yes, dated calls. I told you, January, you're going to have a great time, I think. Just opinions on this channel. Keep that one in mind. Bitcoin, break it down, guys. All right, not holding the daily 21. I do think you have a shot at coming down here to 64.4K down there. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but, lose 66.5K, and we have nothing until 64.4K. MSTR, guys, this is honestly top watch for me over here on the crypto pullback over here. I think we're finally getting a deeper pullback. And, either it's going to get bought up at $200 or it gets bought up, in between 174 and 200. That's what I'm paying attention to. But clear as day, this is a chart we want to pay attention to. All right. So I'm watching that. Coin over here, guys. You are getting buyers stepping in here early on this week. I'm liking the look of this thing. But, like I just pointed out, I don't like the look of what Bitcoin's doing right now. So I don't know how coin's going to react. But if you come up and test, 194.60 here, you're probably going to get rejection. I'm just going to say. But you did get a perfect reaction off here. Not perfect. You got the low of day being 176.38 over there. And there's that. All right. But, 176.15 is going to align with that 0.618 fib down there. CLSK, guys, in the golden pocket. All I'm going to say about that. Mara in the golden pocket. Again, all I'm going to say about that. All right, guys, with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. And if you did enjoy the video, feel free to leave that like. It does greatly help our, chances of reaching more people on this channel. And then we can grow our little corner of YouTube into a bigger corner of YouTube. And eventually, guys, we won't be a corner. We'll just be a wall. We'll be one of the walls of this, you know, this little niche we got going on over here. Options traders niche, all right, technical analysis niche, whatever we got going on over here, indices niche, all right, we're gonna get bigger in it. Okay, I appreciate y'all, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.